to turn my mic on.
See, they start over.
Oh, it's no sound. Okay, so we're gonna get that going for you. Oh, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me? Okay, you can. Awesome. Wonderful. So I'm sorry about a little glitch that we had there, but we're going to go ahead. So I just wanted to say welcome, welcome to each and every one of you. And we're going to be doing some, we're going to be making some rice today. We're going to be putting in, we're using pigeon peas. Lots of times people, they use the black-eyed peas, on New Year's Day. But we're going to be using this one, right? We're going to just show you what it looks like and how similar they are. You can see that the cans are quite close to each other, but we use the dried ones, as you can see right here, and we actually soak them. We soak them in water overnight. A little bit of garlic in there, so it has that nice soaking and that flavor, goes through on there. We are also going to be making some cornbread. That's another standard again for New Year's Day. So cornbread's going to be there. And I'm also going to be doing some spinach, and the spinach is going to be just frozen spinach because we don't have any fresh spinach right now. And just to say an emphasis on my channel this year is going to be, basically we try to, from garden to table, grow more things that you can eat, eat what you grow, try to eat healthier and all that goes with that. And let me see, Bruce Lee says, Happy New Year, everyone. So Happy New Year, Bruce Lee. We have a couple of people on here so far. Waldomiro from Texera. So welcome, welcome, welcome to each of you. Happy New Year. It's a brand new year, a brand new beginning to start so many wonderful things in our life. So we're going to be starting with the rice and peas first. Oh, and we also have some chicken because people, they use different things that they have. The chicken has already been done. You can see it simmering down just a little bit to, keep it nice and warm and all of that. So some people, they may have turkey, on New Year's Day. People may have beef. Some people like pork, just different things. We're having chicken with all of what we're doing here. So typically I like to use a burner that's closest to you, which would be this one right here. But because we're cooking rice, and rice kind of has to be managed in a way where you control the flames and everything. So because it's such a big burner, it's going to be a little bit further over, but I think you can still see it, right? So let me know. And of course, this is a time of year we have a lot of, aspirations and dreams that we go after. Some people, they make New Year's resolutions. Some people say they don't like to make them because they make them and they don't keep them. A couple days pass and boom, it's already gone. So, but we still, I believe in putting your aspirations in there so that way that, okay, I'm going to try to go for this, pray about it, commit it to God, and then just keep going. And as I always say, if it's not the right thing for you, then you will correct it. But you have to do something, set some goals in mind, put some aspirations that you want to go to. So all of that goes into play there. So for the rice, we're going to be using, we had the peas, like I said, the peas were already soaked overnight. And then we went ahead and we added a little bit of garlic to it to give it a nice little flavor and just help to preserve it as well too overnight. So we're going to have the peas that's already been pre-cooked. And we use a pressure cooker. I'm not sure if many of you know about the pressure cooker. A lot of people from the islands know about pressure cookers. You cook your meats in there, your peas that are, or dry peas. And that way it basically allows it to be cooked at a faster time. So and I highly recommend it. If you've never had a pressure cooker before, definitely recommend it. To my husband is showing. You can say hello so they can see you for the new year.
New Year, everybody.
So this is a pressure cooker. If you've never had one before, you can see it also has the regulator and all of that. And basically what it does is it puts a lot of pressure when you're cooking your food so it gets done in a faster time. So that's more efficient. You'll save on your gas, or if you use electricity, whichever one it is. So, just make sure that you follow the instructions carefully, it's properly closed, and you don't try to force it open when it's not supposed to be open. So we have our little rice pot over here. We're going to go ahead and add in our coconut milk to it. And the peas, and I just wanted to show you these because, like I said, the standard is black-eyed peas, for New Year's Day. We're doing the pigeon peas. We're not using the canned one, we're using the dried one today, okay? Lorna, welcome, Lorna. Happy New Year. So good to see you. Did you cook your dinner already, or are you hanging on a little bit further? Because, I know that a lot of this is right up your street, Dunga rice and peas. So, or some people call it pigeon peas. And for those of you there, I'm not supporting any brand in particular, but this is the one we actually have right now. And this is what they look like when they're dry. A little bit smaller. You can see they look pretty similar to the black-eyed peas.
If we're not wall, you can see.
No, I think they can see it. And I'm going to be putting some thyme in there as well too. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that because we have a couple of things to do today. So we have our coconut just been open. We're going to go ahead and put that in there. Are you going to be using all of this or half of it?
Half of it.
Okay. So I need to get something to put some of it in away. We don't normally. I mean, some people they like their rice and peas really really creamy, but we don't normally use like a whole can. We use like a half. So you can see what it kind of looks like there. Basically, add it in.
All right, so the half can.
But it's each to his own. If you prefer to have it done that way more, then definitely I would say go ahead. So we're adding in that to it there.
Yeah.
Turn on the flame.
Yeah, but if you put too much, it will become soggy. It says,
Yeah, we don't want our rice to be soggy at all.
That's why I know use about half can. And
this is what I was telling you here. The peas, we had it soaking. There are some onions in here. We pressure cooked it last night and put it in the refrigerator once it cooled down, so it's good and ready to go. And for that size pot, we're basically using we use basically a cup of peas, and it's going to be about 3.5 cups of rice. But we'll see how it looks because it's kind of like rice and peas in the islands is something that we cook kind of like we eyeball it kind of sort of, so you have an idea how it looks based on how it's going. If you need to add a little bit more rice, a little bit more water until you get to that right place that you want. So that's what we are doing there. So we're gonna go ahead and let it start boiling first, and then we will add in the rice. So let's cover over the pot. We can keep it on high at that point. I like to keep my my stove, fairly medium to low when I'm cooking for you guys, so that way, if there is something going on, I can catch it easily. We don't have any, issues in the kitchen, and that can happen sometimes. And what many of you know, these are pimentos. If you don't, this is what they look like right there. Let me show you what it looks like. It says pimento on here. It has a nice kick to it. We just usually put a couple of these. They're kind of almost like chives. Is it chives? Yes. Is it chives? No. What's the one you stick in the thing? Cloves. Yes. My bad. Sorry. Yeah. So if you know cloves, yeah, you kind of like it though, and they're really good for you. So I like adding them into my food. So we just toss a couple of those in, and away they go. Hi, Cheryl. Happy New Year to you. To Georgia Peaches. She said, I just started cooking. Awesome. So you're cooking along with me then. Don't burn the food now, okay? Don't burn the food. You don't want to have any burned food to start the year. And I'm saying that to myself too. Because, no matter how good a cook you are, you can have things happen and you make a mistake and, it happens. So if it happens, there's a lot of grace we give to ourselves. We just move on to the next time we cook. So we're waiting for it to start steaming up a little bit there. And right here now we have the thyme, and this is a very, very good one. And guys, I highly recommend this here, and I'm suggesting that a lot, from my channel. You'll be seeing more because I do a lot of flowers, and that will never change because I love flowers. That's one of my first things that I go to. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Give me flowers. I'm just saying, But anyway, I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more of things that we can eat for the year ahead. And if you watch my last video, I'm not sure if you saw it or not, we had the hydroponic setup. We can actually grow stuff indoors in water in that system, while the weather is cold outside. And you have to kind of watch your coconut milk because sometimes it can kind of like start to rise up, like oatmeal, how oatmeal does, or what is it again? Cream of wheat, I guess, when you're cooking, there's a kind of cornmeal porridge that come up a little bit and float over. So you gotta keep an eye on your coconut milk. But yes, I'm saying so things like thyme, if you can grow those, in your garden. Things like basil, I did quite a few of those in the hydroponics. We had cilantro, we had basil, and we had oregano. Those things, guys, are so good for you. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say like, this is coming from a doctor's perspective, but there is information out there that tells you. And like these, sometimes I'm not feeling so good. I drink some thyme tea and it gives me a nice little lift. I feel a little bit better. Sometimes like some hot lemon tea, no sugar, no honey. Some people like honey, but no sugar in there, lemon. And I drink it with the in the hot water and go to sleep. And it helps me out so well. So that's what I'm just, saying to you right now, that basically you'll be seeing a little bit more of stuff that you grow as the year, the growing season comes around, and even from now with my little indoor garden. So stick around because I'm going to show you how it's doing in an upcoming video. We can't bring it in here because it's in another room. Otherwise, I'd show you how they're coming up. Because guys, with the hydroponics grow system. We set it to 16 hours of sunlight per day, or I should say light. You know, they have a special grow lights under there, and they are growing so fast. You should see how the cilantro looks. I can't bring it in here. I'm sorry, but I'll do a follow-up video maybe when I get to the first harvest, or just to, you know, how are we doing kind of thing, and hopefully you'll check that. It probably most likely will be a very short video, but just to see how it's coming along. And I cannot wait for my first harvest. But even like these right here, some people call them green onions, some people call them scallions. Even like these, you know, when you use them, you can cut it off like about right here. I just put them in some water, and you'd be surprised. You know, maybe 2 weeks or so, you can get scallions to harvest. And we normally use like this part here, and the leaves, we put it in our rice and peas if we're going to be doing that with the rice and the pigeon peas. So something as simple as that, you can start growing, you know, inside. Just don't put it all on the water because it might rot, but just get something and just rest a little bit of it in the water, and you just go ahead and you can grow that. So, you know, we're all thinking of the new year. People want to get cleanses in their body, get clean and healthier, because we always want to start off on the best footing. You know, we had a lot for Christmas, over the holidays, Thanksgiving, whatever. So sometimes you probably had a lot of stuff that you probably shouldn't have had, like I did, because I have a very sweet tooth. So anyway, it's good to, you know, like drink some of these, you know, herbs. Of course, if you're on medication, talk to your doctor first, because you don't want to have like drug interactions. All right, so let's see what else we have on here. So we have Jared C.S. Happy New Year. Hydration. Yes, that's a very good one. Matter of fact, could you give me some water, please? Because I've been busy setting up everything here, and I know that I'm getting kind of thirsty right now. So it's good to have a little bit of water, you know, sips in between. But anyway, I'm just saying hydration is really, really the key. You basically want to make sure that you're trying to have as much fluids in your body as possible. It may be that you're having water, which is usually the best thing for you. Some people like coconut water. Some people, like different brands, and they have the different type of sport drinks and stuff. Just be careful they're not caffeinated or anything like that. You want a pure, clean thing to flush your body out and clean up your kidneys. So, all right, people. So guess what? Coconut milk is boiling up now. So, and the peas are in there. You probably add just a little bit more water to it, because we're gonna add in the rice very, very shortly. So I'm gonna add some more water to it. Sorry, I can't show you the pot this time, because I usually tip my pot over and show you. I'm gonna add some more. So this pot right here, now it's filled to about here, I would say, about halfway. You probably add a little bit more. Because we're gonna add in our rice. But like I said, you know, it's very forgiving, you know, when you're cooking rice and peas. So, you know, or even rice in general, if you don't have a rice cooker. One of my sons said you should get a rice cooker. It makes it so easy, which is true. But I think it's good to have the basic skill set, you know, for whatever reason you can't get access to a rice cooker, you can still enjoy some rice and not have to worry too much about it. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And now we need to add in our salt. Whenever you're cooking with somebody else, always ask them, did you add the salt already? Because you don't want you to add salt, and then they added salt already, and it's just like, oh my gosh. It's better to add salt to the pot, like it wasn't salted enough, than to put too much and have to try to get it to be less salty, because that's, you know, they say you can put, and you can tell me some of the stuff that you guys do, like if your pot is too salted, like, you know, you put excess salt in there, what you kind of do to, you know, lessen it a little bit. In Jamaica growing up, they would tell us you can maybe put like some potato slices in there, chocho or chayote, you know, just put it in there, and it'll basically pull some of the salt out of it. But the best thing to do is try not to over salt your pot. So you did not put any salt in there yet, right? Oh, you did. See,
with the peas, when the peas were cooking.
So okay, that's probably not going to be enough. So that's why we like to have a little tasting spoon to taste it first and see how it's doing. So, I gotta be sure to give me a thumbs up. There's 7 of you in here. I got 4 thumbs up, so I know y'all need to hit that thumbs up button. So I'm gonna go ahead and just taste it. Make sure it's cool first. I'm not trying to get burned today. It needs a little bit more salt. So I'm gonna just add a tad more to it, and then we're gonna add in our rice. Try to wash up my stuff as I go along, because it can be a little overwhelming sometimes when you're cooking. You say, oh my gosh, all of this dirty stuff I gotta wash up. And I'm not really much of a dishwasher person myself. So just a little sprinkle of salt to taste. And we're gonna go ahead and add in our rice. We have to wash the rice first. You guys wash your rice? Some people don't, they just put it from the thing straight over in there. Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm seeing some hearts and some smiley faces going up. I appreciate you. It doesn't tell me who does it, but you know, I can see it. So we have our little bowl here. So how much rice? This pot, would that be like a gallon size pot?
Yeah. So we're gonna put about 3 cups of rice.
Okay. Get the scissors if it's down there. Just use a knife and cut it. So this right here is a 2-cup measure. I like 2-cup measures because you know it holds more. You have 1 cup, 2 cups, whatever. So if you need to do a lot, you don't have to go back as frequently. So I'm gonna put in 2.
Again, we just eyeball it because
Yeah.
based on how much persons you're cooking for.
And how big your pot is. That kind of helps to determine. And how do you guys wash your rice? You can let me know if you wash your rice or not. Cheryl, I know Cheryl, Andrea, all of you ladies, Lauren, you guys are big time cooks. We're going to 3 cups of rice right now. Like I said, if needs be, when we see how it looks in the water, we'll decide if we need to add some more to it.
You know, keep a tab on it so we'll know. Use the exact amount instead of just eyeballing it. So tell you what the amount is.
All right. So and this is a good thing to have. You know, I highly recommend getting one of these. It's kind of like a strainer, but it has the part you can set in the sink if you need it, so it's not resting like directly down in there. And you just wash it off as you need to, and then you go ahead and get going. So there you go. In the meantime, while he's doing that, I can go ahead and add some thyme to it. And I love the smell of fresh thyme. Of course, you can get the dried one too. They have some little containers that you can get. And I like a lot of thyme in my stuff. And my thyme, I planted some thyme in the spring, if you'll remember. And we've had those so many years. You know, they're perennial, so they may go down a little bit sometimes in the colder months, but they come right back up year after year. And I even gave some to my neighbor the other day when we were trying to level out our backyard. I had to take them up because they were a little bit lower than what we wanted to. So I gave some to my neighbor. And I think she still has them over there. So this is our, I'm going to rinse them off and then add them into the water. That's the coconut milk and the peas. That's
how much time
boiling right now.
Well, 2 or 3 sprigs.
Yeah, just based on what I had here. Because sometimes these are kind of long. Sometimes some of the thymes are kind of short. So it just depends on the kind that you're using. So let me see now. So Andrew's Kitchen Time says, yes, I wash until the water is clear. Yes. And they recommend that you wash your rice. But I've seen people just put it straight in there without washing it first.
You get rid of the arsenic and stuff like that.
And then to Georgia Peaches says, yes, I do wash mine too. Absolutely. So I don't want to waste any of my time since that one came out. And then we use the scallion right here. Some people call it green onion. We're going to go ahead and add that in as well. And some people, they like to beat the or pulverize, if you want to call it that, so that we get some more flavor out of it. You can see the roots at the bottom here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those off.
So I'll go ahead and add the rice.
Yeah, he's going to add the rice now.
Normally, what I do is I measure the amount of water in there. If there's too much water, too little water, you know, I normally do like about an inch and a quarter from the top of the rice.
Make sure you can see him. I'm blocking him. My bad.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I want him to see you showing them though.
So basically, you know, it's about an inch and a quarter there. So there should be enough water in there. That's typically how I measure how much, you know, water is in the rice, right? Depending on the size of the pot.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut the roots part off. And like I was saying before, you can set this part in water. So I'm going to take that off. And, you know, so this part right here, to cover it for you. So that's what I'm putting off on the bottom. You can just set this in a little bit of water in a container that's kind of shallow, and you'll see it start to come up, and they'll come out that way. So that's what I'm gonna do with this. I'm gonna set it off to the side right there. It'll still pretty much be okay. And then
Just like onions, same
Mhm.
kind of. So,
Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead. I'm just gonna use the side of my knife. Make sure you can see what I'm doing here. All right. And you can do it different ways. Start, of course, at the blunt side to your palm. And then I just go in and I just kind of flatten it out a little bit. So that way the juices come out more easily. And then we just kind of drop it in there in the pot. I know it looks kind of weird to some people, but that's how we do it, going up.
yeah,
You just drop it in there.
You
The
should
flavor comes out.
it breaks the cell walls and it creates a bigger surface area, so the flavors get away.
I just smash it and it gets to
Yeah.
come out more easily. All right. So, of course, along with the whole cooking thing, you always have the need to keep washing up, as I was saying before. So, that's just a part of the process. This is our chicken over here. I'm going to turn up the chicken a little bit more. So, what do you guys normally have for your meat? We're having chicken today. Do you guys have do you have turkey? Do you have beef? Do you have pork for New Year's Day? What do you normally have? Just turn them over. It gets soaked in the juices. Keep an eye on this rice here. I like to crack my rice pot a little bit so that way it's just like it to boil over. Because that can happen. Especially with the coconut milk in there. I'm just flipping them over right now. It smells so good in here, guys. I wish we had, they call it like smell-o-vision. Bring up a little bit more. So it can steam out a little bit. All right, so that's our first thing. Now we need to preheat the oven and make sure it's clear in there. Because we are going to go ahead and start with our I'm gonna start with my cornbread. I absolutely love cornbread. My mom used to make cornbread from scratch. Right, so let me see. Oh, so Bruce Lee says beef. Okay. Garrett says beef is king. Okay. Bruce says chicken or beef. And Kujanapindi says pork meatballs today. Okay. All right. Okay, whatever works. So we're gonna be using these, but like I said, my mom, she used to do hers from scratch, but I'm doing mine with that. Sometimes you just gotta do that. So much going on. But if you have the recipe, because I've seen people cook them and they, like that, what do you call it, the wrought iron skillets, and they put it in there and just put it same place in the oven and they cook it right away. So, but sometimes, like I said, you do a little bit of that, So I'm gonna tie back my rice and put it down.
Okay.
If we need to get a little bit more, we will. So right now the rice pot is bubbling up, cooking nice and good. Now you have to give it a little bit of a stir. You don't have the peas. Here's the pot holder right here. Yeah, those do get tangled in there a little bit, so sometimes you have to watch out for them. So anyway, this is what we have going next here. And that's going to be our cornbread. Let me get my little dish to put it in here. And what I usually like to do is I like to grease my pan that I'm going to be using first. And typically I use Pam.
Use butter.
Or you could use, oil or butter. But today, it's a little light on that. I need it for something else. I'm gonna go ahead and just dip a little bit of oil. And it's just something that is more of a fatty, a little fatty. So you can use like oil, you can use butter. Any one of those things. And my mom always said that, or one of her cooking teachers said that your hands were the first well, they were the first things that you used before we had tools, first utensils. So let's go in. Yeah, I'll cut a little piece. I like to put a little bit of the parchment paper at the bottom or wax paper. I just put it at the very bottom. I don't like carry it up to the side. So sometimes that's just too much to do, you know. And then I just go in and cut it a little bit so it's going to cover the bottom. You can do it to cover a little of the sides as well too if you like. And you just go ahead and stick it down there. And I like doing that because once I'm ready, this is already ready to go. Okay, so for this recipe, and it's very easy, the information is there on the box. It says 1 pack of this mix to 1 egg to 1/3 cup of milk. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using, because sometimes these can be very dry. I've noticed in recent times that these get kind of dry. So what I do is I go ahead and I put like heavy cream in there. Well, not heavy cream. This is heavy whipping cream. Is there the half and half in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I need. Half and half. Because, you know, over the years, I noticed that they've gotten a lot drier. I don't know why.
Or we could use sour cream.
So this is what we want here, the half and half. That's what I like to use. I'm going to go ahead and put that in.
If you don't have half and half, you can use like sour cream.
Yeah, I want to put a little sour cream in there as well too to help out with that.
So when you use that in there and use the half and half, do you change the amount of water or milk you add in there?
I still use the same amount. But once it bakes enough, then it will be okay. My oven is warming up too. It's coming up the line. So, and I don't know if this happens to you too, where when you go in and you're making something, sometimes you need kind of like instructions off of there. You're kind of like, so I just threw the box in the trash can. What do I do now? Like, how long does it bake for or whatever? So usually I try to keep at least one of them. But I mean, I've done this quite a few times, so I kind of get the gist. But just to say, when you're doing it, that's a good thing to bear in mind, you know, when you're doing that. And my spatula are over here. And honestly, guys, if I don't have to use an electric mixer, I don't. And like for this, it's so simple and easy to make. I really don't go to it. Plus, it's kind of noisy for the live videos too, for everybody to come in and hear it, and it's making all of that noise. All right, so we're adding this, you know, just kind of breaking it up because sometimes you're feeling lumps in there. This is our sour cream right here. Like I said, we have our half and half right here. But you can use the regular milk if you want. And we have our eggs right here. Get my fork clean. We try not to have too many things dirty once we're finished here. Go ahead and crack my eggs. Let me make sure you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so we'll go ahead and put these in the trash. All right, so we're beating our eggs. I need it. Can you rinse it out for me because I need to use that cup again for to add in the half and half. Let's beat our eggs here, 2 eggs. All right, so our eggs are in. Put this inside over here. We have our cup here. And now we're gonna go ahead. And by the way, if you're coming on at a later part in the video, please feel free to go back and watch from the beginning, from the start on the replay once we're finished here, so you can basically see all the steps that we did. I don't want you to miss anything. So for the milk part, they said to put 1/3 cup milk. And again, this is a 2-cup measure. So basically I'm gonna go in and put 2/3 cup since we are doubling this. All of a sudden I can't open this.
We did. Yeah.
I got it. Thank you. Shake well before using. Before I go there, though, I can hear my rice. Let me check. See how it's doing. I want to stir the rice because the peas will sit on the top.
You need the bowl.
Then you're looking in your plate and you don't have no peas in your spot. So now all the water has gone down in the pot. And again, I'm sorry, I can't show it to you. But basically, you just go in when the water has gone almost all the way down. You want to turn it down at this point.
Right, we'll carry it over.
Your rice cooker.
Right here, right?
Okay, he's bringing it over so you can see inside the pot. Watch it for the shrub over there. So you can see how it's looking right there. So you see the water has gone down, so we're going to go ahead and add it. And you can see our chicken over there since he's giving you the tour.
Yeah, the oven is warming up.
Yeah, the timer just went off. So it's finished preheating. Now it's at 350. So we're going to go ahead and put this to start simmering down. And that step is important. So you turn the flame down low. You can put it back down low. And just leave it to cook on that low flame so that we were pretty safe there. All right, so you can keep using the live chat just to let me know how it's going on your end. If you can see everything, you can hear everything because we are moving along.
All right, so this baby is.
So 2/3 cup, half and half, which is this right here. To make sure I got the measurement right. Just add a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in.
So using that instead of the milk.
Yes, it's a little bit richer. So that's what we're adding in here. And over here now I have my sour cream. So I'm going to be adding in some of that as well. And since it have, I just kind of eyeball it, maybe like about a tablespoon or so. If I were using just the regular milk, I would still put a little bit more. I'd maybe put like 2 tablespoons of the sour cream. So let's go ahead and mix that in. Let me go ahead and wash this off.
Okay. Got it.
So I'm putting this down. All right. So you could start putting some of the things away from it. Let me just go check on one really, really quick. I'll be right back.
Anyways, she doesn't know, but we got some soursop, right? We're gonna make soursop juice to go along with it, right? So she doesn't know about it. So I'm gonna put it back in the fridge. Right, so you finish with the boxes, right? You can
Yes.
Right.
All right, so chicken is still steaming down nice and good over here. I'll probably give it like another minute or so. So this is what it's looking like here. Oh, so he said sour soup. I missed that one. So this is the consistency of how it's looking right here. I think I'm gonna add just a tad bit more of the half and half. I want it to be a little bit runnier. And I think that is because it when you add your regular milk to it, it's a little lighter. So
Right.
it's it's not as dense.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be nice and rich when we make it though. That's the thing. If you're using the half and half, I'd say put a little bit extra.
So what should it look like when you stick the spoon in it or whatever you're?
No, this that would be like for the fruit cakes.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so like this now.
Right,
That's kind of you want it to be kind of like more runny like that.
Okay.
Like so.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and pour it in. And our oven is ready.
Nice. I'm gonna put the rice on it.
Yeah, it's on low. It smells so good in here, guys. I wish you could smell it. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. You know what the main thing is? It's actually the thyme, guys. I'm telling you, there's something about thyme. I mean, there are maybe people who don't like thyme, but I absolutely love thyme. And it just makes your food smell so good. I mean, of course, it depends on what it is that you're making. But I would say for something like some, rice and peas, rice and beans.
Curry.
Like curried chicken. Curry, anything actually, whatever your curry, it's really, really good.
Yeah, we'll put curry and like shrimp, thyme and shrimp. The straight onions will work for that. But, yeah, we don't eat shellfish, so.
And I like this right here, this container. I got this at Aldi a couple years ago. Well, actually, my husband saw them there, and then he told me about it, and I said, "Yeah, get me a couple of those." They were going at a good price. It's kind of like you can see the color. It's not like stainless steel. It's coated. The copper that they put on there or something like that. But anyway,
champagne bowl.
I'll just try this out here. Put it here. We'll just kind of level it out. Making sure you can see what I'm doing here. And I can hear the oven is definitely ready for it. So I'm gonna, thanks. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in there right now. All right, so our rice and peas is looking good. Let me see if it needs to be stirred one more time. Oops. It looks fairly evenly distributed, but I'll just stir it one more time. Where's the fork for the rice?
Here.
So, did you want to show them right now, like how it looks? Oh yes, Lorna says she washes hers. I guess we have a little bit of a lag on it here. I'm sorry about that, Lorna. We'll get that fixed for the next time. So, do you want to let her see?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Usually, I keep the green onions or scallions as we call them back home in the rice, and then we careful with it right there.
Yeah.
But just to show you what it's looking like here inside the pot, you can see the rice and the peas right there. The consistency. It still needs to steam down a little bit more because the rice grains are not soft and tender yet. But we're gonna go ahead and leave it steaming for that period of time. Righty. So I love that. Our chicken over here, steaming in the juices.
Let me clean this one here.
And the chicken has a nice golden brown color. Like Cheryl says, always love this kitchen. Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So anyway, so far now we have the rice and peas in there, and it's the pigeon peas that we're using. We have our chicken, cooking down a little bit, and we have our cornbread in the oven. So we are moving along. We only have one more thing to do. But I know it's like sometimes the commercial comes in. Sometimes they'll ask me to skip it, so it kind of skips it. So that way I can, keep you live on point with it. But anyway, so what are you guys? I just wanted to know, as far as the year ahead for you guys, like how it's, what kind of plans you have. You don't have to tell me them, specific plans or anything, but just on a whole things that you kind of figure you want to accomplish. And I call them, some people say they don't like to make New Year's resolutions because they make them and then they end up breaking them like after 2 weeks. And I say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym every day. And then after 2 weeks, I stop going to the gym completely because sometimes you kind of set goals a little bit, that's a little bit too high as well too. So sometimes it's good to, goals that are moderate, and you also put some stretch goals as well, which basically, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, it's okay. But there are some basic ones you say, okay, I'm going to try for this. And of course, we commit everything to God because He's going to do, what is in the divine way anyway. But you still have to do something. You can't just sit there and not do anything. And that's what I always say: do something. It may be for the job where I say, I really don't, like this job where I am right now. Then you put things in place, to try to find something else that you can go to, and then eventually something will work out for you. It could be a case where you say you want to live a healthier life. So basically you say, well, is there something I can cut out? Is there something I need to put in? Maybe you're a person who doesn't like to go to the doctor because about a 1/5, I would say, of my viewers are actually male, and typically they say that males typically they don't like to go to the doctor a lot.
No.
So maybe it's in the new year.
No.
You already said no. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Look, we love doctors, right? They're everybody has their gifts in life for everybody. But my thing is, if I can spend the money on food and eat healthy and all that, I'd rather do that than spend it on medication.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thing.
Well, that's true too, but you kind of have to get your checkup so that way you kind of know what is, because I need to do some checkups in the next couple of weeks myself. Yeah. But just so you know what's going on in your body and you kind of know how to deal with it, and then you choose a path that you prefer. It could be a case where you just want to, like cleanse your body in terms of getting cleanses or something like that, just eating differently. You could just set little goals here and there, set something to look forward to. But sometimes they put a lot of pressure on themselves, and it's so much pressure that, it just becomes overwhelming, and then they just give up and they don't do anything at all. Oh, I have to lose 50 pounds in in a month or 2 months or whatever. Just say, maybe I'll try to lose a pound a week. That's a good place to start. It starts to happen, and then, you move along. It could be a case where, like I said, it could be your job. It could be your place of worship. You're just like, I feel like maybe I need to find somewhere else. Pray and ask God to help you and show you the way, He will send the right people to you. It could be so many different aspects of your life, So let me see. So, okay. So Bruce Lee says short term, midterm, long term. And that's true too. Because sometimes there's some goals you say, maybe like, say, within the next 6 months, I'm going to try to do that. And some people, you may be a goal that you say maybe by the end of the year. It could be something that you start doing and you say maybe by 2 years, I'd like to do this. So it's a little bit more long term. Maybe I want to go back to school. Maybe I want to finish school, just whatever it is. But there are different things, but kind of like just pace yourself, take it easy. But do something, as what the commercial says. I don't want to say their name, whatever, because I'm not promoting. But just do something, try something. You're kneeling down, you're praying.
Yeah, I'm praying. My thing is, we just gotta, as we said before, short-term, long-term goals. When you meet certain goals, it helps you to be encouraged to move to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said short-term goals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said that because when you get
Thank
these
you, Bruce.
developments going on, everything always seems to work out great
Yes.
that way. When you set long-term goals, you're waiting a longer time. So,
Mm-hmm.
the same thing with gardening. You do cash crops and you have long, things that you plant for longer periods. The
Mm-hmm.
same thing you set for your own life,
Right.
do short-term goals to encourage yourself, and if you, like you said before, things don't work out, look at it and say, hey, can I maybe I need to change and do something else,
Mm-hmm.
but the bottom line is enjoy, the journey.
That's the biggest part about
Don't
it.
just be
Enjoy the
there
journey.
going along.
Please.
Take time, give
Yes.
yourself grace, and really just stop and smell the roses, as
Mm-hmm.
somebody sang and said somewhere.
Yeah, because I mean, like in the past couple of years, if it has taught me anything, all of what the whole world has been going through is that you really are not promised tomorrow. You don't know how much time you have or people around you have or whatever. So you really need to enjoy the process. It might be frustrating what you're in right now, but it will change. And they say that's one thing. If things are going good, it will change. If things are going bad, it will change because that's life. Ebb and flow, back and forth, good and bad. And we have those seasons, but you know, there has to be a bright spark in your life somewhere or the other. It could be like, okay, I have food on my plate. It may not be the fanciest thing to eat, but I have something to eat. And that's a good place to start. I'm not in the hospital, I'm at home, able to move about and do what I want. So little things, there are always little encouraging things there. I have my family. Maybe you don't have family close by, maybe you have friends or just something, a group you belong to, or sometimes that could even be a thing too. Maybe you're in a city somewhere and you don't have any family, they're far away from you, you don't have any friends. Maybe you don't want to be too close to the people at your office where you work or whatever. Maybe you work remotely, so it doesn't allow for you to have that kind of relationship with people that way. But there are different organizations that you can join. This is a gardening channel, and I'll be doing a lot more of that in the coming year. But there are gardening groups that you can join. Just check out in your community, local area, and you can find those, and that might be a good place to start because you have that similar interest, and so it will help. It could be that you like to knit, maybe you like to sew. There's a group at my church, they do quilting, and they're crazy about quilting, and they do some beautiful quilt work. So that could be a group. There are different things you can join and just become a part of that community. And if you're somebody who likes to keep boundaries in place, and everybody needs to have boundaries, put boundaries in place. I'll go this far but not this further. Maybe you okay meeting with people somewhere, but you wouldn't want it to come inside your home. You know what your limits are, you know what your boundaries are, and you set them and you kind of stick to them and just you know see where it goes from there. So let me take a look now. So 200 Peachy says, I decided to make blueberry cornbread tonight. Okay, that sounds good. Yummy. And Cheryl says, my New Year's resolution is to just relax, breathe easy, take everything in strides. It's gonna be a beautiful year. Yes, we put our trust in God. Good. Amen. And then Lorna says, good, I never make any. Okay, good health and strength and put God first in everything is what I do. Absolutely, because like I said, sometimes you put them in place and you get disappointed when it doesn't happen. But as I say, shoot for something though. Have something in mind, and if you don't get to that higher one, you get to something else. But have peace with yourself. Enjoy the process. That is the most important part of it there. And let me see. Cheryl says, I learned today that garlic and milk is good for worms in the body. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do some research. Well, I know garlic is good for a lot of things, but
pineapple too.
Yeah, they said pineapples as well too. Yeah, but I know garlic for sure. That's why I say drink the teas. Like I wouldn't say drink garlic if you're gonna go out and start talking to people. But it has a very high odor, but it's very good for you. But you can probably have some garlic tea before you go to bed. And it helps your body. It helps to clean you out. Or maybe if you're home on the weekend, a Saturday or a Sunday, if you're not going out, you can just have it first thing in the morning. You wait for an hour, half an hour, whatever, and then you have your breakfast or whatever. But I like having my teas, and like I said, I like to have a lot of herbal teas, and I like to have like things like thyme, like rosemary, what else again? Like lemon tea, but I don't put any sugar at all in my tea, no sugar nor honey. And I have them before I go to bed, and it just helps you sleep very well. For me personally, people like chamomile tea. We have echinacea. I grow those. You probably remember my video earlier in the year where I showed you like echinacea tea. And so we have all of those. So let me see what Cheryl says. Life is short and sweet, so it should be lived with purpose and meaning. Absolutely 100%. All right. So this is the next thing that we have here. And I wish I had like fresh grown spinach, but I don't. And that's probably the next thing I'm gonna try. Like when this crop is over in the hydroponics growing system that I have, I'm probably gonna try to see if I can grow some spinach. I'll check first to see if it's recommended because it's not every single thing you would grow in there. So like a head of cabbage, it's not practical because of how it's set up. And if you hadn't seen the hydroponics video yet, that's the last one I did for last year, my last video of 2023. You can go in and take a look at it, and it shows you step by step where you can grow stuff inside your house in water with that system. And if you don't like that one, I did put the product link on there. It's not in your budget range. There are different prices that you can take a look at to find something that will work for you. So spinach, we can grow those in the warmer months, and I'm going to try some of those. But for right now, we're getting the frozen ones. And typically they recommend, the frozen ones as better. We're going to be using some onions with it as well. And of course, we're going to be putting in some salt and some black pepper to give it a nice little kick.
Yeah. And the thing is, onion is a key thing to really get the flavors out because of the acid and so on. Otherwise it tastes like bush.
Yeah, you need to have that flavoring. You need to have that flavoring from the onion. So I like to put a lot of onions in mine. So on that note, if you could please come and cut some of those up because I'm putting them to work. Yeah. But that's how it goes, you work together in the kitchen, as my mom always used to say, rest her soul, many hands make work lighter. Yeah. But just keep good communications because like I said, if you're cooking together, make sure. Did you add the salt already? Because you don't want to have them add salt and then you add salt. I remember once we had guests coming over and that happened to our fish. Oh my goodness, it was so embarrassing. I didn't realize until after the people left. Because he put salt alone on the fish it wasn't sitting in the sink in a container. Yeah, and I didn't see any black pepper or anything on it, so I figured it hasn't been salted yet. So I went ahead and I put salt again, put black pepper, my onions, and steam it down and everything. And the person only had one and they didn't have another fish. And his wife said to him, you normally have a lot of fish. How come you not having another fish? He said it's okay. It's like, what's going on?
Very polite.
And then I tasted, I said, oh my gosh, your fish is so salty. It wasn't like every single one in the pot, but there were some that were really, really salty. So just to say that many hands make work lighter, but keep communication going. So that way, you kind of know what the next person is doing. So you don't, make, mistakes like those that could be easily avoided. So that's my thyme right here. And I have my spinach over here. So you said you're going to go ahead and cut the onions. So let me put it where they can see you cutting the onions. In the meantime, I'll check.
Right. So I'm going to use basically half of an onion to season this up. So basically, you can adjust it based on how much you're cooking, right? So I'll use half of a half to be correct, rather. So it's a quarter of a large onion, right? If you have the more spicy onion, which is good, you can smell it when you cut it, and you basically would use a little less. But most of the time, too much onion, isn't really the case. All right, so turn it on, get nice and hot, and that should be enough. How much are you cooking, by the way? You should have asked.
I want to do all of this. Let me see how much this one says. This says this is a 12-ounce bag.
All right,
so I'm gonna go ahead.
So 3/4 pounds. So I'll just use half an onion. So this will hold it.
And by the way, guys, the rice, it tastes so good. The rice and peas. Let me show you on the fork. I'm gonna give it maybe like another minute or so, but just to check your rice, you just kind of like squeeze it in your hand, and if it smashes like that, that the rice is ready. It doesn't feel hard and tough or anything like that. So just gonna give it another minute or so, and then our rice should be ready. Our rice and peas. I keep saying rice, but you know what I mean.
If you're cooking your rice and peas and it's too soggy, something I learned from my brother-in-law. I learned from music. On YouTube. You just put 2 slices of bread in there, right? And basically the bread will absorb excess water, so you can do that. Leave it slightly cracked, and that will suck out some of the water that's in the rice if it's too soggy.
Okay, right. I'm always in for those. You can cut it down. Let me just do it down this way as well. These are some large onions. All right, so you can put the oil in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut my spinach. Turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside the bag here. A little bit mushy. But they say that sometimes it's frozen vegetables and fruits are actually
Good for you.
better for you because as opposed to some of them that's sitting in the store for a long time and the color is changing. It's it's breaking down and all of that, so it's not as good for you anymore.
You're gonna put a bit of pepper in the rice also.
Oh, that should have gone in already.
It's okay.
Should have put the pepper in because it almost finished cooking.
It's okay.
So I'm gonna add my oil in here. Do we have enough oil? How's our chicken looking? So the chicken has been turned off.
Yeah.
All right, that's looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and put the onions in so it can start. Like I said, I like a lot of onions in there. Just take off the bottom pieces. And even like these guys, if you plant the bottom of an onion, you know what you get?
Scallion.
You get a scallion from it. So like if you cut a part of the bottom off, we cut it all the way down low. But let's say you cut it up a little bit higher than that. You can also set that in some water and you can get some scallion from that. It's like we have no excuses. You put a little piece of garlic in there? Oh, it's the top of the onion. Okay. Get a different fork. We're basically sauteing our onions. And my sister, she actually grew she grew a lemon tree from just a seed. She ate the lemon, or when she used the lemon to cook or make drink or something or other. And she went ahead and she put it in, I think it was paper towels, the little, those dampened paper towels, and had it start in there. And then she planted, and you should see it's maybe like about, let's say the base of the container is right here. Her lemon tree like about this high now, and she had it maybe like a thing for a year now.
Yeah,
so it's doing really, really well. Yeah. Well, on her balcony, she put it there, but she started off indoors in the winter, no less. I think it was last winter that she started it. And that is the thing, maybe you don't have like the hydroponic set up, like I did, and I showed you that on the last video, but you can still put it in some soil, just one little thing. And she planted a couple of them and she used some of the lime leaves to make tea. And she said it felt so good, when she had it. So I'm just like, that's awesome. I'm sauteing them, and we have our spinach in here. One of these days, I'm going to make spinach dip for you guys using the same thing here, and it's so good. I'm probably going to feature that on the next, maybe the next live, or we'll see how it goes. But I'm just going to leave the liquid that's on there for right now. So I like for it to, go in a little, soak in a little bit first. And then once it does that, then we go ahead and we add in our spinach. So it comes out in the oil, the flavors are there and all of that. So let me see now. So Cheryl says, I usually just boil the water and pour over the spinach and leave it for a couple. Okay, yeah. Well, Cheryl, I don't know if you use a frozen spinach where you are, but we actually have to use the frozen one. And for that one, we don't like to add water to it because it makes it kind of weird. So yeah, it depends.
Just like calamari, so you basically add water.
We're using the fresh spinach, but this one is a frozen one because that's not going to be growing outside anytime right now. I don't think I'd have to try, because there are some crops that we grow in the cold weather, like cabbages, broccoli, and kale. In like cold weather, I'm not sure about spinach. I'd have to try that one. If that's the case, then I'll definitely do that for next winter, so I have fresh spinach to use. We take a look and see how the cornbread is doing right now. It's coming along. Okay. The middle part there is still kind of sunken down, so we have a ways to go. We'll probably put it at, yeah, put it to 375 so you can heat up a little bit more. Bake.
No, just
We'll put it here.
there you go.
That's 375.
There.
Starts, yeah.
All right, cool.
We're just trying to get that going a little bit.
Put on the glasses.
Yeah, that would definitely help. So I'm just waiting until the onions caramelize. So let me see what Sharon says. She says you have to be careful with it. Absolutely, I agree. Because you don't want it to burn. You don't want it to be too soggy because when you're having your vegetables, you don't want it to be too crunchy because you're not having them raw. You're having them cooked. But at the same time, you want to have a little bit of a texture to it, and so does your body too. So I would definitely say yes. So those are almost ready for my spinach. And what did she say? She said, we grew some last year. It can be had raw as well. Yes, on salads. Yes. I love it on salads. But I'm telling you, Cheryl, when I do that, the spinach dip, when you see that one, you're gonna absolutely love it. I'm telling you, it is delicious. You have that with some pita chips. You can have it with like crackers, even like maybe not tortillas, possibly. But yeah. But what do you call the chips again? Like no, the chips that we normally have. Corn chips. Yeah, it's nice with corn chips. I like the crackers, I like to have the Ritz hint of salt, but it don't have too much salt. It has a blue label on it. That's the one I prefer. And I just put that on there.
Or national cream crackers.
Yeah, like in Jamaica now, national cream crackers. Mm-hmm. There are many different brands of crackers that you can use. But I would say don't get them salty because the spinach dip will have enough salt in it. But it's the winter season. We like to have that food. And of course, when they have the NFL games coming up, people like a lot of dip and stuff like that. So I'll be doing some of those. I think we're probably going to feature it very close to that time, which is, I think Super Bowl is like February, early February. I know some fans will be like, you don't know what that date that is yet? No, I don't. We're going to go ahead and add in our spinach now. Turn it around. If you have what you need there. No, but this one you can put some of the pepper, but we forgot to put the pepper in the rice.
I put pepper in the rice.
So I'm just gonna because you guys like Scotch bonnet pepper. I don't know, but I absolutely do. As we say, as long as the pepper, don't let the pepper burst in your food because if the pepper bursts in your food, if you're dropping a whole one in there,
that's not put it in there.
Yeah, just put it in there. Did you put the seeds in it?
Where were it? No.
Yes, guys. Maybe you know, or maybe not. I'm not sure. But the peppers, the seeds are the part that carry the most heat. Of course, all the pepper has the heat in it, but the seed is the part that has the most. So you may want to avoid that part.
Unless you love it.
And honestly, a lot of times when I add pepper to my food, it's not even like I'm saying looking to have like the pepper, like the heat from the pepper. I remember when I was growing up, back in Jamaica, and I used to I still do. I love curry goat. I love curry chicken. All of those things. And then what would happen is that I would like it very, very spicy, as they say over here. We call it hot in Jamaica. Say it's hot of pepper. But if it's a case where my nose wasn't sniffly when I was having it, I was like, it doesn't have enough pepper in there, and that's how I used to be. But once I got pregnant, I didn't want to have a lot of pepper anymore like that. And then once I started cooking for the family and for my kids as well, then I didn't want to have, a lot of pepper because, I don't want to give pepper to the kids. I don't want to have to cook theirs separate from mine. So I started using a lot less pepper in my food. So that's how that works. I'm gonna turn it down. I'm probably gonna tip a little bit of water. Sure, you said you added water to yours, so I'm just add a little tad of water because we don't want it to burn. Because that is one of the things when you smell spinach that smell like it's burning. Ooh, it's not a nice smell at all. It's just like, ooh, what is that? So I'm just gonna add a tad of water to it. I'm gonna turn off my rice right now, by the way, because the rice is good and ready. That's probably about 2 tablespoons of that there. Stir it around. Add black pepper now. Black pepper is a must. I hope I don't start sneezing. For it to give it that nice kick. I'm gonna take out the pepper now. Well, let me leave it to the side for whoever really wants it.
Wow.
All right, so it's cooking down now. So again, the feature of today was the black eyed peas.
Pigeon peas.
No. Well, for me, I'm cooking pigeon peas, but I'm saying typically for New Year's, a lot of people they like to use black eyed peas, but we are actually using the pigeon peas because that's what we use a lot growing up in Jamaica. And the thing is that for these, most times you see them, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cheryl, because I know that you're living in Jamaica right now. So I'm gonna have to reverse the camera on this next time because it kind of messes up my hair the way it is. But anyway, it's pigeon peas, as you can see right there. Dried pigeon peas. And let me show them the dried ones, what those were looking like. It's a standard thing that happens, especially in the southern United States. You have a lot of people cooking black-eyed peas for the new year. They normally have something green, which in our case is the spinach, which is the greens.
So you want to see
I
it?
show them. If you can see it right there, that's how they look.
Put it down.
So almost like the black-eyed peas. That's how they look. That's the pigeon peas. But it doesn't matter. You can use pinto beans. You can use, and that's why some people always say, how is it that you guys you call it rice and peas, but you have kidney beans in it? And the reason we say for that is because we can use anything in there. It just depends on what you have. You may have pigeon peas in there. You may have red beans in there. You can have cowpeas in there. You can have pinto beans in there. All of those different ones. So whatever we put our hands on, that's what we're going to be putting in there to make it. But of course, the most colorful one is usually the kidney beans. And people who are from, like Louisiana, down that area, they have a lot of red beans and rice. So they we're similar in that way in terms of, how we eat some of those things. They eat a lot of rice over there. So they fully understand. I'm trying to remember if I put salt in this thing. I don't remember doing that.
Good question. I didn't touch it, so yeah. You see it.
Let me try it over here and see. I did not.
Wow, I tell.
Yes, ITIL style. So let me go ahead and add a little salt to it. And what I notice in spinach, it doesn't take a lot of salt. And I'm cooking cabbage. I have to put a lot of salt in cabbage, but spinach not nearly as much. So
The iron in it.
I don't know what it is, but spinach. And the callaloo is the same thing back in Jamaica too. So I just add a little bit as I go along. So this is it right here. Let me bring it on over so you can see how it looks right here. So that's it right here. A lot of people, of course, they have colored greens.
Okay, so they're looking longer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have to know how to clean those. Callaloo, you have to know how to clean callaloo too. Back in the islands, but the colored greens, you have to know how to clean them, how to wash them. People wash them with like a vinegar solution. and then you have to, cook them for a longer time, perhaps in the slow cooker. I had them cooking for a really long time on there. So we're waiting now on our cornbread to come up. Let me take a look at it again and see how it is doing. Looking quite nice on the top. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it. You can't see, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick it to see how much moisture is in there. And then I have a little bit of an announcement and maybe a little bit of you guys can help me out a little bit in terms of what you think about the whole thing. So let's stick it and see. Yeah, this needs another
15.
About 15 minutes or so.
Very good time here.
All right, so I'm going to start putting some of these things away, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Pimento in there. We have our salt. We'll just leave that here for the time being. We'll put our peas over there since they are the ones that we're featuring today.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yes, you can show them that in the meantime. That's all somebody said. Sorry.
Yeah, so we're gonna make the soursop juice now, right? So this is the soursop pulp that I'm using here, and I'll use condensed milk to go with it, and then also some nutmeg. All right, so I'll just run it through the blender. If you have soursop like we do in the islands, that works really, really well. So this is very good for you. It's good for your nerves, blood pressure, stuff like that. So this is what I'm going to run through while she's getting her stuff together. Normally, when you get the soursop, you just it looks just like this, and then you can peel the skin back, and then you mash it out, get the seeds out, and then you blend it. Right, so that's what I'm pretty much gonna do. So it's a little bit noisy. Just bear with me a second. All right. She didn't know I was gonna do this, right? So I just sneaked it in on her. All right, give me 1 second.
You're gonna be making soursop. That's a nice surprise. There's somebody cracking up over there. Let me see who that is. Let me see her mix up. So Cheryl. You're talking about the Scotch bonnet. Let me go for the back up. I'm missing some of the chat here, guys. Oh, she said they should not leave out the Dutchie. Cheryl, you're cracking me up. She's talking about my Dutch oven. They call it a Dutch oven over here, but it's actually a Dutch pot. Listen. My husband had this Dutch oven or Dutch pot or Dutchie as we call it in Jamaica, right? And in the islands, on the islands in the Caribbean. You see how the pot is? You see how dark it is at the bottom? That is years of use. This is the original stuff, right? As I said, the OG. Because for this, it's made of iron, and you can get iron from it when you cooking your stuff. So we absolutely love using it. We've been married for 25 years. I had a 25-year anniversary last year, and when I met him, he had this pot. So this pot is old.
About 30.
And it still works. You said about 30. Not long for 36?
36 years.
Wow, that's 11 years before we got wow, okay. So that's going back a bit. But anyway, yes, my Dutchie, of course, when we were migrating from Jamaica, this was actually in our lungs and it was heavy. We said, guess what? We don't care. We are still bringing it up. That's got to go. If you take something out to stay underweight, because you know how they charge you so heavy when you're overweight. It was like $75. No, $90. $90 if you're overweight. It was 70. Okay, but anyway, $70. If you're overweight, for maybe like 5 pounds over, that's kind of crazy to me.
Sorry.
But we're just like, we're not parting with that one. We're gonna take something else out. So that's what we did.
Yes.
You need some water? Okay.
Yes,
I said I'm not parting with my Dutchie. So that is a must. And you cook your food so good. And if you try to make stuff like sweet potato pudding, cornmeal pudding, and all of that, oh my goodness, it's delicious. I can turn this off now, but this is great. I'm going to turn that off. You can bring it around so they can see what you're doing. Let me get out of your way. So you go ahead and you make it. I'll look at the comments in the meantime because I see some people cracking up over here. So you said, oh, Bruce Lee says, what kind of oven is that? I like the sounds. Oh, the oven. Well, I can't promote the product, but it's
Samsung.
It's a Samsung. So this is like a smart oven, so it whistles and does stuff like that. You know, you have different brands that you can always choose the one that you want. And then Bruce Lee says, yes, Scotch. I guess you're talking about the Scotch bonnet pepper. Yes, that we have to have in there because it gives such a nice flavor. Some people call them habanero peppers over here, but it's very similar. Okay, so let's go ahead along with the comments now. So Charles says, I know someone who used to put 3 peppers in her rice and peas. I told her it's true she doesn't want to share and she's wicked. Well, that's true. Because if you make it that hot, then who's gonna have it with you, right? Ain't nobody trying to have that. It's too hot. And especially don't make it burst. You know, don't let your pepper burst in the pot because if it bursts,
Oh my lord.
problems.
That is really nice.
Problems.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Oh yeah. So all right, let's keep going. So she says, yes, curry goat with the pepper is fine. Yes. And she says, I love them in the can or by the pound. So you're talking, is it spinach that you're talking about? I'm not sure because we talk about some different things. And Cheryl says, I did pinto peas yesterday and Warren picked some ackee today. So it's rice and peas with ackee and saltfish. Woo, okay, that sounds delicious. Rice and peas. Usually I prefer having dumplings with mine and like bananas and yam, but I'll have rice and peas with it too. But whatever suits your fancy, whatever you prefer. One of my brothers, he prefers white rice with his akis.
All right, so pardon the noise for a second.
Okay, let you go ahead and do that.
Or
He's making sense.
let's see, just a little more. All right.
Okay.
All right, and then I'll go ahead and add
You have a jug for it?
condensed milk to it. So
You have a jug?
you can use that, the same container for example.
Which one?
Same one.
You're gonna sweeten it in there?
Yeah, I
Let me see
mean,
if I can get
I'll add it in there.
pour it in. I'll have a nice jug prepared if you're gonna make ours drink.
I'll just use the you can just leave it in there for a time.
Okay, we'll just pour it in the glass. All right, that's fine.
All right, so normally I use about depending on how much I make. So since I put like 3, let me see, about 6 cups, which is let's see here. Let me give you the exact measurement here. It says 6 cups. 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa. How many is this?
Where are your glasses?
Yeah, I need to put on my glasses. 48 ounces.
When you're getting young, guys, when you're getting younger, you know, you need those readers.
So 48 ounces. I put about normally I use a whole can, but I'm gonna put 3/4 of the can first, just to check that it's not too sweet.
There's some dripping at the side.
Each
and just use a spoon to take it.
Each brand may have different amounts of sugar in there. This one is pretty strong, so I just use 3/4 can.
We're probably gonna have it for tomorrow because we are gonna be pouring some sparkly stuff in these glasses because so you can make it and put it down. You can have it, like a little later. But these are so pretty. Somebody did these for us when we were doing our vows many years ago, and put those fancy little bows on there. So I thought this would be perfect for the season.
So okay, twist it. Okay. So
Ready?
I have to put a whole can.
Okay, so it needs some more milk. Okay, no
Just need
problem.
more.
Let me take a look at the comments in the meantime. Yeah, we are not drinkers, guys. So this is what it's going to be. You can have whichever one you like. Get your glasses ready because it's going to be coming up shortly. Once I do the recap, I'm going to do a little announcement. So comments now. So let me see. So, oh, so they were cracking up. So $90. Lucy said $90. No. It wasn't $90 for the overweight. It was $70. You know, like if you were over your luggage was overweight, you had to pay $90. So
And guess what? The cost to put the baggage
for an extra bag was $45.
Yeah. So that's just highway robbery, man. It's like what 100? That's like
that's a big difference. Yes, right. Because
that's crazy.
Well, yeah, well, not quite. But anyway, when we were traveling back in those days, what we used to do sometimes is we would if they say you're overweight, we just run go to one of the stores inside the airport, get a little cheapo bag, a little cheapo bag, and just put your additional stuff in there, pay the $45 and put more stuff in it, as opposed to paying $90 for an additional, for overweight.
Yeah, one
So
second.
Okay. You can ease it out. Let me take a look at the comments here. So Cheryl says, come on, I mean, who does that, man? She used to burst. Okay. You're talking about the pepper and the rice, when they burst the pepper and the rice. Oh my goodness. People don't do that to people. Yeah, but they have hot sauces. You can even cook, because my dad, he used to like a lot of I don't think he does at this point because he's a lot older now. But he was a person who loved pepper, and I guess maybe that's where I got it from when I was, growing up. I was younger at that point. But basically, he would always have the pickle. Either my mom would make the pickles, or he would buy the pickles, and you have you have carrots in there, you have chocho or chayote as they call it, and they put the vinegar and the hot peppers in there in the hot vinegar, and it would be very hot. They would just take a piece and put on his food if you didn't want it to be hotter than what we were eating. So I mean, if you like pepper, that's one way to do it. And don't put the whole 3 peppers in the rice and peas. Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, she know what she was doing, girl.
Yeah, she don't want to share.
Yeah.
So you will get, it might, upset her stomach too. And she says, yes, white rice is bad with it, and that is the bad meaning good with the akis. And she says, oh, that's sour stuff without the seeds. Yes, there's no seeds in there. Lorna says, I love rice and peas with aki too. Oh, we have another one. A couple of people on the rice and peas with aki, and that's aki and codfish. And for those who are not from the islands, you might not know what akis are. Do you have a can here by any chance? I think we had used it before. But akis are actually the national fruit of Jamaica, and so it's used in our national dish. Usually we have akis and salted codfish. And the salted codfish is you have to soak it, flake it, and then you saute them together after you boil the akis. Or you can buy the canned akis, because of course it's hard for us. We're in a colder area in America, so we can't just have akis grow outside. Unfortunately, if you're in South Florida, then you can do it, and you can always pick them if the squirrels don't get them first. No, I was hoping to show them the can. They look like scrambled eggs when you cook them, and basically, you have the sauteed saltfish in it, and it's really, really delicious. And like I said, that's a national dish of Jamaica. We absolutely love it. When as a little girl, I didn't like aki and saltfish because they said when you're younger, the younger you are, the more taste buds you have. As you get older, they start dying out. It sounds so weird, but it is true. And so things that used to taste weird to you when you had more taste buds as a baby or a toddler, or even like a preschool or whatever, as you get older, it tastes better because you're not picking up all the little weird stuff inside. It's like kids don't like seasonings either. It's too much for them. So most times we'll cook without, seasonings in the food, but not too much of it, because like a lot of onions and this. Little kids, little toddlers, little babies, they don't like that, and that's because of all the taste buds that they have. But as I said, they say they die off. Not completely, but you get less and less as you get older. So, it's easier to please you in what you're eating, unless you have food allergies, which is a whole nother story again, right? So Jared says $45. Yeah, that was for an additional bag. Back in those days, I don't know. Everything is different now. Everything has changed, you know. But back then, that's how they would do it.
50 or 70.
Pluto GPT says, "Love me some aki," and she says, "With anything." Okay, yeah, I agree. You know, it goes with anything. I mean, you can white rice, your rice and peas. You can have, yellow yams in there, white yams. Somebody's giving me some hearts. Thank you. He doesn't tell me who he is, but I can see it coming on. So thank you for that. And pretty much you do what works for you, right? You know, boiled bananas. And I know that's a little strange to some people that are not from the islands, but we have so many banana trees down there. They figure, well, you can cook it when it's green. And if you're buying it live from the international market, you have to ask them for green bananas, because if you just say bananas, it's going to be the ones that are about to ripen and they're going to taste sour when you cook them. So it has to be bananas that are green bananas for cooking green. And then when you boil it, they're almost kind of like a boiled potato, kind of sort of. And we'll have like those. We'll have like the yellow yams, just kind of like a sweet potato in a sense, but they're bigger and they're yellow and they're not sweet at all. We love that kind of stuff with our food, but depending on what it is anyway. So yeah, so those are the different things that we have there. And let me check the cornbread one more time to see how it's doing. Because I'd like to plate everything up so you can see the New Year's dinner together. Let me see how it's looking. Well, it looks well done on the top for sure. Yep. It's well done at the bottom too. There's some water on this pot holder because it almost came right on through on my hands. All right, so can you take this off so I can
Take one on.
the sour sauce, because we're gonna have the So guys, in the meantime, keep watching, but you can go ahead and get something to drink because we're just gonna toast for the new year, which is the standard for New Year's. So even if it's water, get you something in a cup, some juice, something. So I'm gonna take out my cornbread now. I need for it to cool down a little bit so we can ease it out. Let me put it up over here. And then we can slip it out. So this is it. Let me set it right here. Put it down a little bit more so you can see it. And my 2 glasses, and I have to be very careful with these. That someone gave them to us for we were renewing our vows a couple of years ago. That there, that there. Put my fan away. Turn the oven off. Okay, so the oven is off. Over here, well, this one is for that one and that one. Just need something to ease out the. Smooth that from over here. So Cheryl says, you add the sparkling wine to the sour sauce. No, ma'am. I've never tried that before. Now, maybe it can be done, but we're not gonna do that this time. I'll experiment after this, and then we'll see how it goes.
I'll have the sour stuff afterwards.
Yeah, we'll have them separately. I don't know. I mean, you may be onto something there, but I don't know. I mean, I've never tried it before, so I wouldn't try to introduce that here. Like I tell you every time, guys, because we do a lot of cooking, and basically we feature on the live videos because this is a gardening channel after all. But we do feature when we cook on the live because it's very, cooking is a way to bond, whether with family or friends or whatever. It's usually a sure way that works. But basically, we feature either a fruit or a vegetable, or on occasions maybe a flower. That's the center, of what everything's around. For this one, it was the peas, because people like rice and peas for New Year's. But we'll feature different things, one for each particular live that we do. And so, we have different ones that we're doing. But basically, if you wanted to try that later, another time, I'd say yes, but we're not going to do that one right now. So if you have your stuff, we're waiting for you. We're just waiting for the cornbread to cool a little bit so we can get everything put together. Let me see. So she said, yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over, just recap a little bit some of the stuff that we talked about first. Of course, it's Happy New Year to each and everyone that's watching, whether you're watching live or you're on the replay. Either way, we certainly appreciate you. I did achieve some milestones in 2023, which I'm very grateful for. And I did set a goal of one of them, which was to have my channel monetized, and it did happen for me. And God was ready. He said, "Okay, it's time now," and so it happened. And if you're one of the people watching here that you have a channel, lives are good too. They help you in terms of getting your watch hours up. If you have the required amount of subscribers on there, so I would say definitely worth a try. But that did happen, so I appreciate you guys for that. Initially, was looking at subscriber count. I honestly wasn't. But further in the year, I said I'd like to get to 3,000, and I did 2 years before the year ended. So thank you all so much. Yeah, 2 days before the year was December 30th. They sent something over to me and said that I got to 3,000. So I'm very thankful for that, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful year ahead with gardening. It's going to be, like I said, my flowers will always be the center stage, but I'm going to try to do more stuff because we want to kind of try to eat what we grow, especially in these times. Grow something, whether it's inside your house, like the hydroponics, or you want to do it, like out in your yard when the weather is warm. Try something. Start off with maybe like something really easy. Usually, I think tomatoes are fairly easy. Peppers, and pumpkins. Those three usually, you'll get them. And the initial one that I always say to start with going. And if nothing else, start with some green beans, unless you don't like green beans. You know what I mean? Just plant a couple of little plots, or maybe you can have a couple of pots. Because like gardening with Stacy, she's not on here tonight, but all of her plants, she grows corn. She's in Portmore, Jamaica. She grows corn. She grows tomatoes, peppers, all different kinds of stuff. And what are they in containers? Almost everything that she has is in a container. So even if you don't have like a lot of land to say put pots of stuff, you have like a balcony that gets some sun, or you have a little porch at the back or whatever, you can grow some stuff on there. Just start off with something. And you see that you get to like it, you learn more as you do it, and you just get better and better with time. So, or even just some herbs, just grow like some thyme, some rosemary, some mint. Those three ones usually are fairly easy to grow. They are kind of hard nature, so they can handle it. If you love them too much, you might not have good results. Because like I know thyme and what's your name now? Rosemary, they don't like a lot of water. They like to dry out and then you water them again. So you have different options for things that you can try. So I definitely highly recommend that. In terms of each person looking into their life, just set some aspirations for yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Just try to go for it a little at a time. Whatever success you have, it may be that little small thing that you met. You just say, okay, I did this, and you celebrate it. And some people say, if you're gonna have goals and you want to share them, make sure you share them with someone who you can trust. Over the years, they've proven themselves to you that this is someone that you can actually share your dreams with. Because sometimes they say it's not good to, like share your dreams with just anybody, because sometimes you can have that negative energy coming in, and it kind of smothers it a little bit.
Yeah.
So you want to have people that for a fact will support you in what you're doing, and those are the people that you want to tell it to. Or if you don't want to tell it to anybody, that's between you and God. When you reach it, you say, okay, I had set this goal and I reached it, and you can do it that way as well too. But in different areas, health wise, get your checkups. Like I said, I have some checkups I have to do myself. In terms of how you eat, just maybe cut out some things, add in some things. Lots of herbs and vitamins and stuff in your diet, to the things that we eat, try to more, more from what they say, from garden to table, where more things that are fresh are on your plate. Less things that you have to process this, process that, process that. And we do add a few processed things in here and there, but make sure you have a nice mix of that going on. What else do we have now? So, and also, we talked about the cleanses. Like if somebody who, likes to cleanse your body every once in a while, there are different things that you can take. If you're on medications, talk to your doctor first. Of course, you don't want to just do crazy stuff and then it affects you badly. People who have like diabetes, I have family members who have diabetes, like a fasting may not necessarily be the best thing for them because it can really mess them up. You have to really know what you're doing.
Partial fasting.
Hydration. Try to keep your body hydrated. If you can, start exercising. And that's something I really have to try to start doing this year, where I try to do it. And I'm not going to be too hard on myself and say, you have to enroll in a gym or this or that or whatever. But maybe, just to walk inside the house. They have different videos you can watch. walk a mile or walk or whatever, just different things, and you just walk or walk around your house, go up and down the steps. Sleeping is another one. Try to get your sleeping in because they're proving more and more that you really need to have at least 5 hours of sleep per night. Unless you work at
Minimum.
night and you sleep in the daytime, but at least five you should try to have, because if you have less than that, it really affects your body in some very negative ways. So you want to try to, get those done when you're doing that. And of course, some people do like they call it intermittent fasting, where you maybe like say fast for maybe like 14 hours each day. So like you may maybe have your last meal at like say 8 p.m. and you maybe don't have another meal again until maybe like 11 a.m. the following day. So for that whole time, your body didn't have anything coming in, and it kind of helps to clean up itself a little bit, and all of that kind of stuff goes on there. So just things to consider. But again, if you're on medication, if you have special medical conditions, talk to your doctor before you try any of those things. And of course, I always recommend reading your Bible through for the year if you can. If you don't get, and that's a goal you can set. Maybe a stretch goal for you, because they say 7 chapters per day will get you there. But if it's even 1 chapter a day, they had a song that's what's called that growing up in Jamaica, chapter a day. You can read 1 chapter each day, and by the end of the year, you'd have gone to 365. And there are days when you can kind of like read more than one, just depending on what's going on. Some days you may miss it. If you miss it, again, don't be hard on yourself. Enjoy the journey is the main part of most of this year. So the next thing is that it's kind of a little bit of an announcement, which you'll see coming up shortly, which is that because my channel is a gardening channel, and the name of it right now is Marlene's How To's, and that's been with me for 4 years. So a lot of people are used to the name and everything, but basically my channel really is about gardening, and it is about flowers. It's about house plants as well. I don't feature them as many, but I'll do a little bit more of those this year. But anyway, I'm going to be changing the name of my channel, and I was going to do it last night or yesterday, but I said, you know what, let me do the live first, tell you guys here, and then you'll see it come up. Maybe I would think by Thursday when my next video comes out, because usually my videos are on Thursdays. You will see it there. I'm playing with two different things for the channel name. We'll see what it comes down to in the end. My family and I kind of like working it out together, but it's going to be more showing you, as you see the name, you're going to know exactly what it's about, because I think Marlene's Health is a little bit vague. You're like, how to what? There are how to so many things that it could be about. It could be about fashion. It could be about eat. It could be about your health. It could be about, driving. It could be, it could be anything. So, and of course, once people come on, they'll figure it out. When I do my intros, I normally say stuff like that. But nevertheless, you want it to be a case where someone sees your channel, they say, okay, that's what it's about, and I know. So for example, like on here, we have Lorna's Decor. And like for Lorna, as you see Lorna's Decor, she's going to be decorating stuff. Right away, you already know it. We have Andrea on here. She was on here earlier. And hers is Andrea's Kitchen Time, or Time, she's going to be in the kitchen. And it's talking about thyme or time, as some people pronounce it. So she is cooking. So it's very, very clear. So, it's been about 3 years I've been going back and forth. Should I change it? Should I not? And now more time has passed, and it's like, it's time to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then, you'll see it. So if you see it, I'm not going to change the little picture of my face on there. So when you see it, you'll know that, okay, it is still the same channel, still the same person, but the name will be different. So, that's one of my, and that's a small goal. And even little things like those, guys, it doesn't have to be anything major, just something as simple as that. I've been saying I wanted to change channel name for a while. And I said, I'm going to do it now. That was a goal. And then once I do it, I would have met that goal. So it doesn't have to be anything, like over the top. Just set some things in place and then just go along and see what happens. So we're going to try to plate up our food. Now we're going to be pouring. So I hope you guys got something that you can, have a little sip with us. As you can see right here. As I said, we're not drinkers. So it's sparkling. As long as it's got little bubbles in there, I am good to go with it.
You have to take this off.
Let me use the you can put it over
Because it's
here.
hot,
Yeah.
maybe
You
crumbly.
can rest it on the pot holder right here.
Yeah.
Usually, and that's why I haven't seen spatulas like these. I've had this for so many years. It's flat all the way, and I love it. I have to try to see if I can get some more. Show you what it looks like. Oops, right here. It's getting brighter and brighter. Okay, there you go. So you can see how it is right there. All right. So actually, it was better when you were about to close it. So
yeah, so I'm saying some like
it's a little crumbly, which means it's very light and flaky, and it's a little hot, guys. So if it cracks, please forgive me. It's the simple reason that it's still very hot.
take a big piece.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, it's breaking.
Let me grab it.
Let me cut some more. Give me the knife. Let me cut another piece. Or I could probably just use this.
Yeah, because that little scratch.
This is very, 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 very tender. Okay, it's really, really hot. So like I said, guys, excuse me. Can you hold the plate over here? Let me put it in there.
This, you got
Yeah,
it?
it's on the plate over there. The plate over
that
there. Yes, let me put it to the side so everything can be on the same plate.
You're gonna put it. Whoa.
All right. So we move this out the way.
Here we be.
All right, guys. So here it is. You want to come on over and show them?
Okay.
So that's our rice and peas right
Wait,
there.
no, a little bit.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Try to get it together. So that is
All
it
right.
right there. You have the chicken right there. You can see the chicken that we did. You can see the greens right there, the spinach. You can see the rice and peas. It looks better in person though, I will say.
Here you go.
And you have the cornbread right there. Yeah, there we go. You had a nice little pea spot right there. Cheryl, I know you like a lot of peas, so I know you're gonna be really liking that. And you can see how fancy schmancy. That would be my husband for you, the fancy schmancy greens right there. So you can see it. So that's how it's looking right there. So this is our dinner for today, our New Year's dinner, which we're gonna have very shortly. So if you have your drink with you, you can basically go ahead and get ready to have it there. So I'll leave you to go ahead and open and pour for us. You're scoring it like we inside of a fancy restaurant.
Okay. There you
All right, you want to close it back so it doesn't lose the bubbles.
Not get any oil into the bottle. There you go.
So you can hold yours and I'll hold mine. So we'll just share some parting words with you. So we do want to say, we can hold up yours a little bit. Let me see what Sharon said first. She said, oh, Jesus, my God. No, don't go anywhere. Stay right here. She said, cut my piece, please.
All right, maybe one
How much
second.
you do the wine glasses? Yeah, that's not gonna help. So that's it right here. So this is it. See how fancy the bows are. I think it's so cute with the silver and yeah, you'll see more easily like that. There you go, right there. So this is it right here. And let me see what she says. Marlene, that is more than show off. She said she's having a bad mind about it right now. No, don't do that. The spinach came out nice, real nice. Look at you too. So this is it right here, guys. I just want to say your glasses out of the vision. You see what I mean? Because you're gonna have to flip the camera so it shows the right way.
You see, I'm so tall. I don't want. I try.
There you go. There you go. So this is it right here. So guys, we just want to say that we.
There you go.
Right. So we just want to say that we wish you all the very best for the year ahead. We give God thanks and praise for everything that He has, taken us through, and He will be there with us in the year ahead. For my replay people, I'm sorry you didn't get to join me live, but we're toasting you right now. I'm gonna take a sip.
And
And
again, it's
remember,
non-alcoholic, right, guys?
yes,
So,
remember
yeah.
now, but this is what we're having. I don't know what you're having. But anyway, we just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this channel. And again, if you just joined me, the channel name is going to be changing in a few days. Still the same thing, still the gardening. We just want to make it more obvious that we're doing gardening inside and outside the home. Okay. So thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you have a nice dinner if you're watching this at dinner time on the replay. And those who joined us, some of you said you were cooking right now, like Lorna.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to these guys' channel. Lorna's Decor. She does wonderful decorating inside her home. It's absolutely gorgeous. Andrea's Kitchen Time, THYME. She does some beautiful dishes, and she says she'll be doing a lot more for the year ahead. So that's a goal, I guess, that she has in mind. So thank you all so much. I wish you all the very best, and we do hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Thanks for
Happy
joining
New
us.
Year.
Love you guys. Happy New Year. Bye.